When I wanted to install OpenCV 2.4 on Linux, I followed Sebastian Montebone's directions on his website, and he outlines it really well, and it installed easily enough for me. Once I had it installed, I can make some simple code, and in the first instance here my include files are going to be in a particular location. When you follow the instructions, you'll find that your include files will be in the OpenCV2 folder, which is part of the include folder, which is on the local. So on my system here on Ubuntu, it's going to be user local for stuff that I install myself, and the header files I have OpenCV and OpenCV2. I'll be using OpenCV2, and I can see the various different ones like the core and so on. In the core here, this header file then relates to this particular file in itself, so I want to use some of that functionality basically to create a matrix, or to call the image write function and so on. Some of the elements also in here, when I'm creating, in this instance here, I just create a scalar of 200. I create a matrix 400 by 100, and I use the this CV_HU. Well, that's a defined element, and it's actually in this file here, types.ch. So if I go down here, I can see it here, 8CV. I could have typed 0 in there instead if I wanted to, but that's a bit better way of defining it, so I can see exactly what I mean by it. And I'm using the scalar then to fill it completely, and the scalar is 200. So when it's going to fill it, it's not quite 256, so it's going to be a fairly light grey image. All three channels will be the single channel should be full of this, so it'll be a light grey colour. I'm going to save it then. I'm going to use CV image write. That is part of the HiGUI library. So if I go back here to the core here and I go to OpenCV, I can see that there's a HiGUI folder here, and that's the library I'm using, HiGUI.h++. So you can see it here, OpenCV2 HiGUI, and I'm using that particular header file. And again, in this instance here, I use the image write function, and I use it again later on. The second matrix I create is sort of an inverse of the other one. It's going to be just going to be tall, and so it's width by height, so it's going to be wide and tall and so on. So these are just flipped of each other, so I can see what they are. And again, it's the same kind of type. And I've said that I want to build a matrix that's full of zeros, so basically my matrix here, M2, is going to be all zeros, and it's going to be this particular height, and these are the type of each individual element in that picture. It's going to be an unsigned 8-bit value, and I can write that out as M2. So I can compile it here. I can make my code, and this is the switch that I'm using. I'm using G++, and I'm running packonfig, and I'm saying the output will be code 01, and the input file is code01.c++, and then I'm also telling it what libraries to link against, so it's able to do this easily for me. When you look at the output file here, like I said, it's a tall narrow one, and it's a long short one, and one is a dull, very light grey, and the next one is a completely black. So they're the two images that I created, and that's where stuff is.